Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this cocoon type shrug here. It's really big, and I don't have a lot of room to show you, but it's just like in the picture there at the beginning. It's the same shrug here. Now this is very easy to adjust to any size you want. You just need to make the square bigger, and I'll show you how to do that. It's actually pretty easy if you know how to do post stitches. If you're familiar with those, you'll be able to do this. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, for this project, I'm using Caron Big Cakes. It is a 100%, I believe, yes, 100% acrylic medium 4-weight. You don't have to use this brand. You can use any type of medium 4-weight yarn that you have. The color I'm using is called a Toffee Brickle. Now there are approximately 603 yards in each cake. Now this is my third cake. So you're gonna go through two and some of another. Now if you are want to make yours bigger, you know, if you're taller than me, because the sizing kind of goes by height, you're gonna need more than me. So this is, I probably went through between a quarter and a half of this third cake. And remember, there's 603 yards per cake. And then I'm going to be using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Now the sizing is, what this is just a big granny square. You don't have to use the granny square that I'm showing you right now. You can use any granny square that you want. But you need to make your granny square. You take your height in inches. So I am 5'3", so that's 63 inches. And then you divide it by 2, which would be 31.5. And then you want to add 1.5 to 2 inches to that. I added 2. So I would do a square of 33.5 inches across. That's how big I'd want to do my square. So depending on your height, that's how you figure the size that you need. So remember, you take your height in inches and then you divide it by 2 and then add an inch or 2. I would suggest adding a 2 to that number, and that's how big across of a granny square that you need. So that's how you can adjust the size easily. So we'll go ahead and start, and I'll show you the granny square that I used. Now remember, I want to take a second just to ask you not to forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That way you never miss any of my video tutorials or anything else that I do. If you look in the description box of this video or any of my videos, you'll see an auto subscribe link. If you click on that, you'll automatically be subscribed, and then you will never miss any of my updates. So you want to go ahead and start off with a slip knot on your hook. Okay, we're going to start with a chain of 4. And then we're going to slip stitch into the first chain to form a ring. Just like that. Now we're going to work a chain of 3, which is going to count as our first double crochet. We're going to work 2 more double crochets through the center of the ring. So counting that chain 3, we have 3 double crochets there. Now we're going to chain 2. We're going to go back through the center of the ring and work 3 more double crochets. Chain 2. Again, 3 more double crochets through the center of the ring. Chain 2. Again, 3 more doubles through the center of the ring. Now, if you look at what you have, you'll have 4 sets of 3 double crochets. Go ahead and pull your tail, and that'll close up that center circle a little bit more. Now to end, instead of chaining 2, what we're going to do is do a half double crochet in the top of this beginning chain 3. So we're going to yarn over, go into the top of the beginning chain 3 and half double crochet. Just like that. And that's kind of acting as our chain 2. So what that's done is brought us in the middle of this space here, so we can go ahead and start right in the middle again. Okay, so that ends round 1. Now round 2 is going to start the repeat of the pattern. So what we do is we chain 3, count as our first double crochet, go back into the same chain space and work a double crochet. Now we're going to work a front post double crochet around this first stitch. So we're going to yarn over, go around the post and do your front post double. And then we're going to back post double around the next. Now your post is on the back of your hook, and then you do your double. And that's what we would do. Front post double, back post double. And now the next one's front post double, and you do that until you get to your chain 2 space, which I'm at right now. Now when you get to your chain 2 space, you want to work 2 double crochets, a chain of 2, and 2 more double crochets, all into that same chain space. And that's how we do the corners. It's like that. Again, we're going to repeat what we did over here. So we're going to start off with a front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet, and then we would repeat that front post double crochet, back post double crochet, until we get to our chain 2 space. So the next one's going to be front post double crochet. Now we're at our chain 2 space. So again, we will work 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. Again, started off with the front post double crochet, and then back post double crochet, front post double crochet, and in your chain 2 space you work 2 doubles, chain 2, and then 2 doubles. Just like that. Oh. And again, start off with the front post double and back post double. Front post. And now we're at the end where we started. Now remember when we started, we started with 2 double crochets into this chain space. And we did the chain 3 and then the double. So that's 2 double crochets. Now we want to go ahead and put 2 double crochets back into the chain space. Now we're going to end the round is not chaining 2. We're going to half double crochet into the top of the beginning chain 3. Just like that. So that ends row 2, and you'll have 16 more stitches than you did the previous round. Okay, so round 3, we're just going to repeat what we did on round 2. So we're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. Go back into the same chain space and double crochet. Now we'll start off with the front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet, and then front post, and you can see your posts will start to line up, and then a back post, and you do this until you get to your chain 2 space. Front post, back post, front post, and now I'm at my chain 2 space. So in the chain 2 space, I'm going to work 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And now I'm just going to repeat that all the way around. I'm going to start off with a front post double crochet and back post double crochet, front post and back post till I get to my chain 2 space, front post and back post and front post. Now in the chain 2 space, we're going to work our 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And then we're going to repeat it again, starting with the front post double crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up until I get back over here to my starting point. Okay, I've come to the end here. We're just going to end the round 3 the same way we ended the previous round. Go ahead into the chain space and work 2 double crochets, and then half double crochet into the top of the beginning chain 3. Now in round 3, and now you'll have 16 more stitches than you did the previous round. Okay, now round 4, we're going to chain 3 and double crochet back into the same chain space. Now what we're going to do is chain 1. We're going to skip this first stitch, which is this chain 3 here, and we're going to double crochet into the top of the next stitch. And then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to double crochet into the top of the next stitch, which is actually the back post double crochet from the previous round. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet. It'll be that back post double crochet. And this is what we're going to do until we get to our chain 2 space. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next. It'll always be that back post. On the post stitches, it'll always be that back post stitch. Chain 1 again, skip 1, double crochet into the next, chain 1, there'll be 1 left to skip. Go ahead and skip it, and then when you get to this chain 2 space, you work your 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. That's what we always put into the corners. Okay, and then we're going to repeat it again. So we chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1, double into the next. Do this until you get to your chain 2 space. Chain 1, skip 1, double into the next, chain 1, skip 1, double into the next, chain 1, there'll be 1 left to skip. Go ahead and skip it, and then in the chain 2 space we work 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. So this is the pattern I'm going to repeat for round 4. I'm just going to repeat it all the way around until I get back to my starting point. I start off with the chain 1, skip 1, double into the next, chain 1, skip 1, and double into the next. And then when you make it to the end, chain 1, there'll be 1 left to skip, and then you work your corner. 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. So I'm going to repeat this until I get back to the beginning. Okay, I'm coming to the end. I did my last double crochet. I chained one. I have one left to skip, and we're going to end the round just like we did the previous round. We're going to work 2 double crochets into the chain space, and then we're going to put a half double crochet into the top of the beginning chain 3, and that'll end around 4. Now if you count every stitch in every chain 1 space, not the corner chain 2 spaces, every chain 1 space and every stitch, you'll have 16 more than you did the previous round. So for round 5, it's just a repeat of round 4. So we just start off the same with the chain 3 and double crochet back into the same stitch, and then we chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip this chain space and double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip this space and double crochet into the next. We're going to do this until we get to our chain 2 space. So we're just double crocheting on top of the double crochet from the previous round. Chain 1, skip this space, double crochet into the next, and when you make it to the end, you want to chain 1. There'll be 1 left to skip, and when you get to the chain 2 space, you just work your 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And now we're just going to repeat this pattern all the way around. So we just start with the chain 1, and we skip 1 and double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip the chain space and double crochet into the next. So I'm going to repeat this all the way around until I get back to the beginning. Okay, I'm coming to the end of round 5, and I'm going to end it the same way. I just did my last double crochet. I chained 1, and I have 1 stitch to skip. Going to go ahead and skip it, and in this chain space, I'm going to work 2 double crochets, and then a half double crochet into the beginning chain 3. Just like that. I'll end round 5, and if you count every stitch in every chain 1 space, remember not the chain 2 spaces or the corners, every stitch and every chain 1 space, you'll have 16 more than you did the previous round. Round 6, we are going to chain 3 and work 1 double crochet into the chain space. Like that. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch and into every chain 1 space. So I'm going to start off by double crocheting right here into this beginning chain 3, and then you got to make sure you double crochet into this next stitch, because sometimes it looks a little funny being next to this chain 3, but make sure you go into that one, and then double crochet into the chain space. Just go right through it and into the next stitch, and then into the chain space, and then into the next stitch. And we're going to repeat this until we get to our first chain 2 space. So double crochet into every chain space, every chain 1 space, and every stitch until you get to your first corner or your first chain 2 space. Okay, I'm getting ready to come to the end here. Get these last 2 stitches. Now I'm at my chain 2 space, and I'm going to do the same thing we do in every chain 2 space. We're going to do 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles, all into that same space. Then I'm going to start again by working 1 double crochet in every stitch and in every chain 1 space. Make sure you get this first stitch. Sometimes it gets lost underneath these, so pull it back. Make sure you get that one, otherwise your square will be crooked. So I'm just going to continue this pattern of 1 double crochet in every stitch and in every chain 1 space until I get to my corner or my chain 2 space. And then I'll work my 2 doubles, my chain 2 and 2 doubles into the chain 2 space. And I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around back to the beginning. Just like that. Okay, I have made it to the end of round 6, and I'm going to end the same way that I've ended every round. I'm going to work 2 double crochets into this last chain 2 space. And then I'm going to half double crochet into the top of my beginning chain 3. Again, you will have 16 more stitches than you did the previous round. Now that is the repeat. You repeat rounds 2 through 6. So you would just, round 7 would just be a repeat of round 2. That's where we start with the front post double crochet, back post double crochet, repeat. So just keep repeating rounds 2 through 6 until we get our square the size that we need it to be. Okay, now I have got my big piece done here. Let me lay it out. You can see it. It's big, so you won't be able to see it all, but now I measured mine. Mine measures about from side to side, or up and down, either way, across the square. My measure is about 33 and a half inches. Now, remember I'm 5'3", so 63 inches. You want to do it about half of that, plus an inch or 2. So, half of it, 61 and a half inches, or I'm sorry, 31 and a half inches. And then I added, I think, a couple inches on to mine. So, 33 or 33 and a half is what mine is. Now you remember, you do yours half your height in inches and then add an inch or 2. I think it's always better to probably add 2 if you can, 1.5 inches to 2, just for good measure. But what row you want to end on is, it's not really like super important that you end on this row, but I ended on 1 row of front post, back post double crochet. So I did my, you can see here's my 2 rows of where I did the chain spaces. Then I did the row of double crochet, and then I did 1 row of front post, back post, and then I ended and I tied off. It's not super, like I said, it's not super important that you do that, but that's just where I ended. Okay, now you want to take your work and you want to fold it wrong side facing out. So here's my wrong side. You can see, because here's my tail where I started. Fold it in half, and we're going to make the armholes. Pull my camera back so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so here's the bottom of my piece. Wrong side's facing me. We're going to turn it to the side like this, because our armholes will be on each side. I'm going to go ahead and do this so you can see it better, hopefully. Okay, here's the side. What you want to do for the armholes, both sides are done the same. You want to start sewing, or we're going to slip stitch. I'm going to slip stitch. You can sew if you want, it doesn't really matter. From this corner up, and you want to sew up. Here's the top where this part's going to go. This would be the top of your arm. Down, you want to leave about 7 inches open for your armhole. So just go ahead and get a tape measure. There's no specific stitch amount. Just measure about 7 inches. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom, and I'm just going to start in the corner of both pieces. I'm going to pull my yarn through, chain 1. Now I'm going to go to the next stitch, but I'm only going to go into the front loop of it. And then I'm going to go to the next stitch on this side, and I'm going to go into the back loop of it. And then I'm going to slip stitch. And I'm going to do the same all the way up. So I'm going to go into the front loop of the next stitch and the back loop of this stitch back here and slip stitch. You don't have to do it this way. You can just go through both loops if you want. You can single crochet it together. You can use your yarn needle and a piece of yarn and sew it up. This pattern is really however you want to do it. Whatever's easiest for you. So front loop on this stitch, and then the stitch back here, back loop, slip stitch. And that's what I'm going to do all the way up until I hit my, till I have about 7 inches left from the top, and then I'm just going to tie it off. And that 7-inch opening is going to be my armhole. And I'm going to do it the same on both sides. And you want to keep doing that all the way up until you reach about 7 inches or so. So I'll keep slip stitching mine all the way up until I hit about 7 inches. 7.5. Now that should be good enough. But if you feel like you get up that high and you feel like you want your armhole to be a little looser, that's fine. Just take some stitches out and you can leave it however wide you want it on the armholes. Just make sure that you do the same amount on the other side, so they match up. But I'm going to go up to about 7 inches or so, 7.5, slip stitch it up there. Then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Remember, you can always, if you want to looser arm area, that's fine. You can do it however loose you want. Just make both sides the exact same. And you can get the same amount of stitches on each side. What's easy is just count however many stitches you crochet up on this side to get your armhole that you want. And then just start over, just do the same amount on the other side. So if you however many crochet up on this side and tie it off, do the exact same amount on the other side, and then both the armholes will have the exact same amount of stitches. Okay, I got both my sides sewed up. Now what we're going to do is flip it right side out. Okay, now we got the right side of our work facing us. Now all we're going to do is go around the armholes, both armholes with single crochet, and around the bottom with rows of single crochet to make kind of a band on it. Now you can do as many rows as you want. Let's see. So for the arms, you can just start, doesn't have to be exact. Here's your seam. I'm going to start in this stitch of the seam. Go through both loops, so when you're doing this rows of single crochet, I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go back into the same stitch, single crochet, and I'm just going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around my arm until I get back to the beginning. Just like this. Okay, I've made it all the way around here. Here's where I started my arm. Single crochet on my arm. Go ahead and go into this stitch that is part of my seam and single crochet. Now what I'm going to do is use a stitch marker. I'm going to put it right here. And now I'm just going to work rounds of single crochet until I get my band as thick as I want it to be. So I'm just going to jump right over here to my first single crochet and single crochet right into it. Not to chain 1, but that first single crochet, just like that. Now that stitch marker is going to let me know where my round ends and begins. So I'm just going to go ahead and single crochet all the way around again until I get back to my stitch marker. Now you'll probably have a different number of stitches than me, and that's fine. because we just kind of just measured with the tape measure. It doesn't really matter how many stitches you have, as long as it feels comfortable. Your arm fits in there comfortable for you. So I'm going to go around, and when I get back to my stitch marker, I'm going to move it up, and I'm going to go around again. I'm going to do a total of 5 rounds of single crochet. I'm on my second round now, and I want to do a total of 5 on my sleeve. You can do more if you want. You can do however thick you want your band. It's completely up to you. I'm going to do 5 though. So I will meet back up with you when I get my 5 rounds of single crochet done. Okay, I've done my 5 rounds of single crochet on the sleeve, and I made it back to my stitch marker. All I want to do is just slip stitch into the next stitch and tie it off. That. Take your stitch marker out, and that sleeve's done. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other sleeve. So there's one sleeve, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom of the shrug, or the topper. So I'm going to do the same thing that we just did, 5 rows of single crochet down here too, all the way down, all the way around, 5 rows of single crochet, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other arm. So it's really easy. Remember, you can do yours more than 5 if you want. You can do less, it's up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and finish that up. 5 rows down here and 5 rows on my other sleeve of single crochet. When you start to work on the bottom of your piece here, I always kind of just start in one of these chain 2 spaces here. You don't have to, but that's usually where I start, to show you kind of how I start. And then I will chain 1 and go back into that same chain space and do a single crochet. Now I'm going to jump over to the next chain space, so jump right over here to the next one and single crochet. And then I'll continue around doing my 1 single crochet in every stitch, just like this. And then when I get over to the other side where there's these 2 chain spaces, just put 1 single crochet in each of those chain spaces. So this is how I work the bottom. And remember, I want to do 5 rounds of single crochet on the bottom. Okay, once you finish going around the sleeves and the bottom, hiding your tails, there's not a lot of room, but that's it. That's all there is to it. Got your little cocoon shrug. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to check out all my other videos. I have hundreds of videos, and if you make this or anything else, I'd really like to see a picture of it. You can post a picture on my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page. I'll put a link to that below and in the description box. And until next time, have a good day.